Hi guys, Diane, Melbourne from PoshUpCycle. I put these babies on as I was doing them and everybody loved the tops, the double line wash. And I've been getting a lot of questions on how I get a really nice, perfect top. I've put a coffee table on and I've had a few comments about the poly finish that I've done on there, how I get it so nice. So I just thought I'd do a little video today, probably about 4 or 5 minutes, but you know how it goes, it could be a bit longer. And I'll show you how I finish off with the polyurethane wipe and hopefully a few tips along the way. Might save you some money. You might like how to do it and want to try yourself. So here we are, 2 bedside cabinets. All of this is finished. I just put the handles on today. They were already on there, so I cleaned them with WD-40. So the black handles are original to the unit. I love them so much. Shell shaped, so I decided to do coastal type theme on it with the handles. So here we go. So what I've got now is a piece of sandpaper. This is 600 grit and it's been used and used and used, and that's the best ones when they're being used. So all we want to do is take off any little rough marks on the top, and that's what this will do. So here I go. So I'll just work my way around the corners and then I feel. And then when it's not quite smooth, just go back in again. And as you do it, you'll need to sand less and less. Now this had lime wash, so I don't want to sand too much because I don't want the lime wash coming off either. That's nice. And then I always go in the direction of the grain. Just have a feel. And that one's almost ready, and you can see all of the dust on my hand. And try and get the corners, but be careful when you do the corners, go very lightly because that's where you will pull off some of this stain. I don't know why, it just happens. And then you've got to get the stain out again and touch it all up and wait. It's nice and smooth. So with this being only 600 grit, it's not going to take much of your coating off. It's just going to get those rough surface that you can feel when you go over. It'll take all that roughness off. So this sandpaper, I'm probably going to use this for the whole process. I'll normally put on 6 or 8 coats, and as you're putting the coats on, you'll actually feel it start to glide. Your little cloth will just glide over, and then you know that there's enough polyurethane on there when it starts to glide. So this has only had 1 coat of varnish, so 2 lime wash, 1 coat of varnish. It's had 1 sand so far, and now we're going to do the next polyurethane. So what I do with my paper is I just hang it up so I never lose it. Microfiber cloth, what I'll do, give it a wipe over, take any of that dust off, and then that's all ready for the polyurethane then, for its next coat. Lovely. So what I use is a pair of gloves for dishes. These are non-latex and these will probably last me about 3-4 months, so invest in a decent pair. And what you'll tend to find is you'll see the polyurethane building up on the gloves, so just before you use it, you just give them a rub, take off any loose bits. When they get too bad, I go inside and I wash them with warm, hot, soapy water. And then I go again. and when they're really bad I throw them out. So I'll probably get 2, 3, 4 months out of them. Now, this is what I use. So I use Feast Watson Satin Wipe on Poly. Now the reason I have got 2 tins is, one is my virgin tin, which means nothing's gone back in there, and the other one is the one that I normally keep about, I don't know, it's probably only got a centimetre in the bottom. So this is the stuff I use, and then when it runs out I pour another centimetre and I keep decanting back in here. So this is the virgin stuff. We only top up this one when we need to and keep a little bit in, and that keeps that fresh and nice. Now this is in Bunnings. It's only about $39.81 a tin. Depends, it goes up and down the price, but it's normally about $40 or just under. But this probably will get me 15 or 20 items for $40. So now I put it on. I have an old cup, as you can see. It's been used and used and used. Had a chip in it, so I don't go and buy a brand new cup. I just keep the chipped cups that I have, and I use this. And inside the cup you'll see is a little rag, which I put it on with. Tiny little rag. That's all I use for something this size. So all I do is put the cup down, put the rag over the side, get my tin, shake it up. Now you're wondering about the rag, tiny little rag. So this is what I use. This is an old flannelette sheet. It's been with me now for 2 years. It's probably got about another year left. I used to use it and put it on the floor, and then I needed a rag to put the poly on, so I decided to cut a piece off, and it's been perfect ever since. So I just cut pieces off that. So this is the rag, not much. Just a little piece. Now the trick with the polyurethane is as little as possible on here. Now because this has been sitting in my cup, it's already a bit damp. It's already got stuff from the last time I used it, so I'm just going to go all the way around the outside and give it a good rub. So I'm actually rubbing this in, so it's dry. So this is like not dry, it's got stuff on there. You can see getting a bit of a sheen, but least on the cloth the better. And you'll see with the sunlight reflecting on the units that you'll see where it's actually been. So now I've gone around the outsides, I'm just going to get the cup. Now I'm literally going to touch the cloth with a little bit of polyurethane. Let that soak in, put it down, and I'll literally go around the edges first. And then I just rub it in. And if you have a look on the light, you'll see if you've missed any bits. So that's it. That was probably about, I don't know, 3 mil of this on here for this coat. Then I'm going to gently fold this over, so I've got a nice smooth edge, no crinkles whatsoever. And then I'm just going to wipe in the direction of the wood. So you're going to make sure there's no little bits that have flown in with wind or dust dropped on it, and just keep going all the way to the end. Here's my little caboodle coming in to make sure. Look with the light, that looks perfect. And then I'll just go around the outside again to make sure that there's no drips come down the outside. And if you're going to get any yellowing with this stuff, and it will yellow, you've got to be careful. You will get the odd yellow if you use too much. You get it sitting just in that crease around the outside where it's dripped down. So just go in that crease carefully, and then I'll go around here again, and then around that bit there. So that's the next polyurethane coat on there. So now I'll start doing this one. It's quite economical, this stuff, so you know, amount of items you get out of the jar, and it does give a good finish. There's lots and lots of different products out on the market at the moment, and yes, I've tried a few. I've got polyurethane in here. I've tried one of the Cotton Millie, I believe. I've tried Fusion, I believe. So I've tried a few, but this is my go-to. This is what I use if I'm selling a piece, because it works out more economical, it's more durable. I've never had any complaints of any pieces coming back for whatever reason. So I've never had an item come back, touch wood. And I've never had a bad review, touch wood. So here we go. I'm going to do the top again, nice lines. Now I'm going to go in that little edge, that lip. And you want to make sure that you're not built it back up on the corner either. But don't panic if you have, because you can just carefully sand it off again on your next go. But once you've done it a few times, you get the hang of it. And it doesn't take long, and you have a nice smooth lip on here as well, absolutely smooth like a baby's bottom. And that's it. So now what I do is I go back to the tin, and I pour the stuff back in. So this is the stuff I use all the time till it runs out, probably only about 1 centimetre in the bottom. Cloth back in the cup. Now sometimes you get, there's a lip inside of here, you will get polyurethane in the lip, so I don't waste any. I tip the tin upside down, and sometimes we get some coming out like there, and that goes back on the cloth. And that'll start me off next time. So I take this cup and I put it back into a Coles bar, no expense spared, and that will do me tomorrow. So we're in Melbourne at the moment. It's cold. It's down to 3 or 4 degrees or less on the night time. So during the winter, I can leave that cup sitting saturated with the cup sitting with the saturated cloth. I can leave it in there. Overnight. But in the summer, it gets hot. I'll put the polyurethane coat on, and I'll take that directly to the garage in my beer fridge, and it'll go in the fridge, and it'll sit there in the summer till I need it. So it'll come out, and then it'll go back in. So that scrap piece of cloth that I use, I will probably use that for, I could use it for 10 items. So I've got these tables at the side there, I'll use the cloth for that. The only time I change that cloth is if I do a different stain. So if I have a customer that wants a dark mahogany stain, I'll put the first polyurethane on, and the stain lifts a little bit and goes on the cloth. So I'll finish that piece and then I'll discard the cloth. But because that cloth is saturated and it's full of the polyurethane, we don't waste any. It's there all the time. As long as you keep the cloth in a sealed environment, the cloth doesn't dry out, the poly doesn't dry out. You'll be able to use that cloth and the product will sit in there for ages. And so that'll last ages, as I've said. So these are the cabinets. That's had its second coat of polyurethane. This is not a fast drying product. This product will take 6 to 8 hours to dry. That's on a good day. So in the summer, I would come in early doors, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning before the school run. I'll put a coat on here. I'll put them to one side, and then maybe 2, 3 in the afternoon, I can get another coat on, and maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night in the summer. So these could go 1 coat a day, or they could get 3 coats in a day. So at the moment, these are finished. The only thing that we need to do is the top. So these sit in the garage now for maybe 3 to 8 days till I'm happy with the top. And how do I know I'm happy with the top? Well, once you start doing that 600 grit sand before you put the poly on, you'll notice that there's little bits, it looks like very fine dust that you're taking off. And then you get the cloth and you take the dust off, you'll notice that it's almost a nice clear surface and very smooth. And then you get your cloth with the polyurethane on and you'll go around and it just seems to glide over that finish. And then you know that you're nearly ready. So once it glides over, I normally do probably 1 or 2 coats after that. It depends. It all depends on what they're going to be used for. These are bedside cabinets, so these will get about 8, on average 8, 9 coats. If I do a coffee table, I like to put more on because people are putting their cups down, and that will take coffee table, dining table, I'll probably put about anywhere from 12 to 15 coats. But it's not an expensive product, and it's tough, it's durable, it gives a good finish, it's cheap. It's cheaper than some of the other things on the market. I'm not saying it's better than any other on the market. What I'm saying is it's a good finish and it's cheap, and I use it on the product to sell. And I have tried all the other brands and I'm still using them. It depends on whether people want matte. This is a satin. I've never been asked for gloss yet. I'm not a big fan of the high gloss, but who knows, if a customer wants it, I'll do it. So I think I've covered everything. So if you like this video, you found it interesting, you want to see these completely finished, go into my YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. It's free. I'd much appreciate a few more followers, and that will give me some encouragement to do some more. Also, I've got a page on Facebook. Click follow on there. I always put my stuff on there as I'm doing it or as it's finished, with before and after pictures, and also on Instagram. So thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. Hope it's nice in your neck of the woods, and hopefully I'll get some more videos on after lockdown. Thank you.